Mike Sautter, Austin Jacobsen here with Camp Confidential at Omaha North. First up, Max Clark joins us. Max, you committed to South Dakota. Let's just start there and get that out of the way. Why South Dakota?
Yeah, so South Dakota always showed me the most love. Ever since really the spring, they were talking to me hard. Came out, watched me work out on the field here. Loved what they seen. Called me the next weekend, offered me, and then I got down there on the official visit and just felt like home. There was nothing else that I really needed to do. Called him on the phone the next day and committed.
How comfortable are you feeling right now, just with where everything's going, coming out of where you were in the off season now into fall camp?
Like my body and stuff?
Yeah, just with the team. And
everything's going good. I mean, we've been working during the off week. We were all getting together, really trying to put everything that we did during spring into the fall. Just building that chemistry. A lot of transfers coming in and just making sure everybody comes together is nice.
First day of practice today. We stopped out for that. How do you feel like it went today?
I feel like it went pretty good. I feel like everybody's gelling well together. Offense always moves a little slower than defense, so you got to emphasize that more your first days, but it's going good. We have a lot of returning production, especially on the outsides with the receivers, running backs, and we got a quarterback transferred in, but he's a senior, so he knows how to do it. Just getting that offensive line gelling together, that group has to be the tightest knit, and we'll be good.
Well, you're going to help out something new this year, learning a little bit of a new position as tight end, kind of H-back.
The tight end move position.
Yeah, so, I mean, you had one catch for 19 yards last year. Probably gonna have a little bit more than that this year, right? Is that the goal? And how has that transition, I guess, to playing both sides worked out for you so far?
So last year was supposed to look like this year, but I pulled my back right before the season started. So I kind of knew the plays already. I've already been working on this, and this year coming in, it's like it's my senior year. I'm doing whatever it takes to win. The transition's been pretty good. I mean, I played a little receiver. I played a little like tight end type of thing. It's just putting the two together, playing that move position. I feel like it's going to go really smooth.
You guys looked like you have a lot of explosive plays kind of set up. How long does it take to kind of build that trust and build some of that timing that goes, especially in the passing game?
That especially is spring. We have a lifting class every morning. Our whole football team's in a lifting class, and some days we'll come out here and just throw on the field. Go after school, when everybody has time, throw on the field. We've been getting that timing down all spring just to make sure that right when we come out the gates, we're rock and rolling.
So defensively, you were one of the best defenders in Class A, I would say, especially at the linebacker spot. 142 tackles, 31 tackles for loss, and 8 sacks. How do you improve on that? Because that's pretty good.
Yeah, like I was saying last time, man, those interceptions. I dropped a few picks last year. I'm gonna have to improve on that part, my hands. But football at the linebacker position just feels natural to me. Like those tackles, it was never trying to stat pad, never trying to do this. It's just getting downhill, making those plays, trying to win the game. It always just, when I see the hole open because my linemen doing what they're supposed to do, just hit it hard.
How have you noticed already that Tyson's not here?
Yeah, so last year we had Tyson. Tyson is like more of a leadership thing.
Right, yeah.
Even when he was hurt after week 4, week 5, he was the biggest leader on our team. Just me, Darian, Jaron, just taking that new leadership role has been the bigger part more than the football part.
Right. Yeah, I was going to ask this. That's a new role for you because Tyson was, I would come at practice. Tyson is not, I mean, he's a coach basically on the field. How's that gone, that leadership part?
That's been good. Summer workouts at the start, we were a little all over the place because we didn't have that Tyson, but just as the summer's gone on, we've built more trust and more vocal leadership. I after Tyson got hurt, I was leading the defense last year. Now it's just more of leading the whole team, you know what I'm saying, bringing everybody together.
Mm-hmm. What would you say like your leadership style is comparative to what you've seen from other classes ahead of you?
I did try to learn a lot from Tyson, you know what I'm saying, being vocal, being loud, but there's just everybody was afraid of Tyson. So that intimidation factor, nobody's gonna be able to match that. But I feel like I'm gaining the trust of my teammates, and I'm more of a vocal leader.
Okay, that's Max Clark, linebacker, Omaha North. Omaha North Camp Confidential. Jaron Cannon up next here at Omaha North. Jaron, you had a pretty big junior year. 1,447 as far as rushing yards and 19 touchdowns. How do you improve those numbers?
So I mean, just working the whole summer, working. So right after football season, had a little injuries coming out of it. Just kept working. My mom got this bet with me right now. If I get 2,000 yards, get $2,000. So that's,
Whoa.
so she pushed me to my limits. So yeah.
So you just sat down and said that you tried to put on some weight for the off season, coming into your senior year. What were you doing? Just drinking infinity protein shakes, or what were you up to?
No, so I had got a trainer outside of football. So he helped with everything. His name is Kari Richardson, and so he just put me on a meal plan. Did that, and then I was doing weightlifting with him, outside running. Just agility and stuff like that, opening my hips up and everything, getting tight so fast. And
The newest Northwest Missouri State commit. Why then?
It just felt like home. I mean, so they've been talking to me, and Wayne was talking to me. I mean, a lot other schools were talking to,
right.
But they were the two at the top. And I mean, it just felt like home. I went down there on my official visit not too long ago, and it just was like, they want me, and they want to play me, so they want me to step in that position. So it just felt like home, and I wanted to.
One new offensive line starter back, or one offensive line starter returning this year. It's going to look different, feel different. What have you seen from that group so far?
I've seen a lot of improvement since the beginning. I mean, they've been working. Everybody wants it on this team. Everybody been grinding. They know that they got a big shoes to fill. Talking about Tyson, with him being gone, not be able to coach them up and teach them the ropes. They've been working, and they put their heads down, keep working. We building that chemistry to where I know they got my back, I got their back, and we're gonna go out there and show them what we got.
I know we talked a little bit about last year's success, but was there anything you looked back on from last year's tape, or things that you've been working on specifically just to kind of make those little improvements for another big year?
That explosiveness. Like, it wasn't too many since I was a little bit injured, banged up. It wasn't too many big long run plays or stuff like that. I mean, it was game-changing plays that I made, but I think I can, like that sophomore year, I think that I can get back to that and a lot of long breakaways and stuff that the team needs so that they can get the rest that they need and things like that. And so we can take the pressure off the pass game. And
Yeah, new quarterback, how's that? You got to learn a different handoff, it
Yeah.
feels a little different. How's that process?
Yeah,
going?
we've been building, we've been working, getting extra reps. That's mainly what it is, learning how he hands the ball off or how he throws the ball or like his timing, like understanding that, like the same way I had to do with Mikey when he came in, the same way I had to do with Sebi. So
Yeah,
I mean,
three now, yeah.
so I mean, it's not like I can adapt. Like that's one of my strong things that I can do. Like I can learn like everybody what they do best and make them perfect.
So first day of practice, just wrapped up, but is it motivating to know you have one of those marquee games of your season just week one, so it keeps that motivation high?
Yeah, like been training, like even when, some days you don't want to do it, but you look at it, you like, we got them week one, so it's time to go, it's go time, like get out there, work, and been working towards that game, and then everything else after that.
One game at a time, though.
Yeah, one game at a time.
Right, Coach speak. I want to ask you your take on Michael Valencia comes over from Papillion La Vista. He was a pretty good freshman last year for them. Now he's a sophomore. He's one of the guys, competing to be your backup. What have you taught him, and what have you seen from him?
I've seen a lot of growth. Like, so he came in. I mean, they do different things there that we do here. So like just mechanics, like teaching, okay, it's gonna hit here, or okay, it's gonna hit backside, or okay, on these plays, slow play. Understand that we got linemen pulling. Understand that we got a tight end coming, and just slow play, see it, hit it, downhill now, like, and then make your move after that. But I've seen a lot of growth from him. Like I like him being my back. I like him being there so we can play that dual running back thing that everybody wanted. So I ain't got to get 40 carries a game or 30 carries a game. He take that pressure off.
One last one for you here. Obviously, Omaha North has had a plethora of fantastic running backs, right? Like the names are Calvin Strong and even Milton Sargebaugh, like a bunch of those.
Yeah.
How do you put your stamp I'm going to be one of those guys people remember for a long time?
Well, it just started from like growing up and wanting to come here. Like I went to all of those games. I seen all of those greats. I seen all of that. Like that just gave me that motivation to be like, I want to be like them, or I want to be a little bit better. Like and just keep working to be that okay, when I leave here, everybody gonna remember my name, or everybody gonna know that team was a monster team. So.
Yeah, 2,000 yards, $2,000. That'd motivate me real quick.
That's pretty good. No,
Yeah.
You might get me out there running.
Yeah. All right, Jaron, thanks.
Thank you.
Here at Omaha North with Camp Confidential, Coach Martin is our next guest. Coach, obviously you lost basically your whole offensive line outside of one. You lost one of the greatest leaders this school's ever seen, and not saying a lot, in Tyson Terry. But you still are going to be in the conversation because you're Omaha North football with Larry Martin as the head coach. How has the adjustment been so far with this new group?
You know, I think that the biggest things that you try to talk to the kids about is that you don't replace guys like that. You just don't. You learn from what they brought to the table and learned how that enhanced your program. And I was proud to sit here and listen, or stand there and listen to the kids about the different things that young man stood for and what he brought to the program. And you know, they're not trying to be Tyson Terry, they're trying to be themselves, which they did. And unfortunately, we got a little bit of dose of that because Tyson got hurt, you know, on the field. And those two young men were very vocal leaders on their sides of the ball. And obviously, Tyson, you know, continued that role outside of there. But you know, when you lose guys like that, obviously you know your team's probably not going to get maybe as far as you were hoping for because you don't replace guys like you just don't. But the impact that he's made on our program and what these guys have learned from that and what they've, you know, become their own self and the way they want to lead has really been nice to watch and grow.
One of those guys that we didn't talk to today, but Darian Jones, obviously committed to Iowa, had a bunch of options. We're talking about vocal leader. That's a guy.
Yeah.
He had 8 interceptions last year on the defensive side of the ball, 11 touchdowns and 776 yards on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously going to be another two-way guy and is electric. What about his leadership and his offseason that you've seen from him?
Darian's been just on fire.
Right.
I mean, since the season got over, that desire and fire of wanting to become the best player and teammate and leader that he can, it's just been really remarkable to watch. You know, I've known Darian since, you know, his dad coached with me.
Right.
And I knew him when he was born. And but just watch him blossom, becoming him himself. You know, he's not trying to be Donovan. He's not trying to be Tyson. He's Darian.
Yeah.
And he's competitive, and he studies, and he works hard, and he deserves everything that he's gotten because of what he stands for and what he's willing to do to reach that level.
Coach, you know, looking at just this team in practice today for the opening day, there were so many big names that have been out there, and we've talked about them before, but how's that attitude of the team changed? You got a lot of high-profile individuals, but everyone was kind of in a workman attitude today, it felt like.
Yeah, they're very unselfish. You know, we were fortunate enough to play in Mike's tournament, and we had a lot of success.
Yeah.
Obviously, we won it.
Champs.
But the important thing that came from that, from me, was just watching. One of the important things came just watching the kids interact with each other when things weren't going well, because that type of stuff, you know, you can act like it's all good until you get in the games and you start getting beat. And then watching them cheer for each other. And you know, Darian and Max and Jaron and Jermaine, and watching them all cheer for their teammates when they made good plays and stuff like that. That stuff's infectious. In a world that we can live in at times that can be very statistic driven and me driven and NLI and all that type of stuff, I was watching these guys come together as a true group of young men that want to play hard for this school.
Mm-hmm. Linebacker is a strength. Obviously, Max is back, but BJ Lewis is back too. And you had 3 of the 4 guys in there back, and you guys, you know, obviously run that 3-4 base normally. So that group, I guess, talk about that group a little bit, because they're going to be clearly a strength of your defense.
No doubt. You know, and the key for us is because, you know, you lose a Tyson, you lose a Greg Moore, you know, on the D line. Now, what I've learned over the years is that we may not be as good at one of those positions, but we can make that group of 3 of them That's the key, is to find the three, the inside, the D lineman, and the outside linebacker that work good together. So we don't have a strong and a down, and not, just finding those three to be, James Harrington and Max and BJ all played for us last year. Marquise Lewis is on the D line. We've got to find that balance. The will linebacker position, still working on that, but just finding those other two D linemen and then putting those groups together so that we, that's what I've tried to learn over the years is not have all my best players on, playing on the left side of our defense or right side, of making that group better.
Some balance.
Yeah, and I think having that linebacker core will help us with that D line as they grow and mature and learn what it's like to play on Friday night in Class A football.
Coach, looking at your trenches, I was impressed by the size, but how do you keep their technique strong, especially just teaching them when you're kind of replacing that core group from last year?
Yeah, to me, it all starts up, with their strength and physicality. Those are the two things. So we really work hard in the winter and in the spring. I don't know how much stronger you can get in the summer. It's a short window, but in the winter and the spring, we really work hard on getting strong, and then coming out here and really trying to find the balance of what side of the ball they're going to play on, what fits them the best, and then really hone in on the technique, and really try to teach them and get them a lot of reps during practice.
You're on your third quarterback in 3 years now. Mikey Gow left. He threw for over 2,000 yards. Had a great season for you last year.
No doubt.
Fit in great, right?
Yep, no doubt.
20 touchdowns, 400. That's pretty good.
Yep.
Elijah Cannon comes over from prep and looks to be the guy, right,
Sure.
at quarterback. What have you seen so far from him?
Well, for us, I just really one thing we've learned. We've kind of, at that position only having one, you're right, and so you don't want to run them. And so we feel very good about that room. We're very blessed. It's a long time since North's had, 3 or 4 quarterbacks, and stuff like that. So we want to continue to develop that room. I've watched Elijah, come in here. He's a senior. He's had a lot of high quality reps and stuff like that, and just really not come in with any hidden agendas, just come in and went to work. That's what I told him I appreciated the most about him. He just didn't come in and think just because he was going to be a senior, he was going to be the starter. And we really haven't named a starter yet. He's getting a lot of reps with the older guys and stuff like that. But, he's just come in and been no nonsense, learning to take more leadership. And I know that's hard to do, when you come here, and you're not here all 4 years, but learning what that role of what the quarterback position, is truly about. And Dom and Eli, I'll keep pushing him and keep working hard. They're just going to be sophomores, but I'd put their accuracy and athletic ability up against any sophomore in the state with those two young men. So yeah.
We heard from some of your guys a little bit earlier, and I felt like we heard the word explosive, big plays, that sort of stuff. Is that a priority for the offense this season?
Yeah, we definitely have some guys that can do that, and to me, it's always about finding that balance. I'm a two-way guy. The skill position
you like
guys
to run the ball.
Yeah, we do like to do that.
Big plays on the ground.
The one thing that Coach Mack, Dan McLaughlin came in here last year. Now, obviously, we had some very good talent also, but we were as balanced offensively as we've ever been since we've been here.
Right.
I think we actually threw the ball for almost just as many yards as we rushed the ball as a team.
Right.
And that includes against the top end teams and stuff like that too. So really excited about that. I think we made some overhaul changes to our offense. That's been good moves. Obviously, you got to have talent in order to do that. Takes the pressure off the running game. Really excited about Jaron. I know I'm getting on a tangent here, but
right.
Jaron did not play healthy last year.
Right.
It's as good as I've ever seen him look. And he's put on some good weight. I know he alluded to that we've got another running back, Michael Valencia, that's here. We've been, anybody that's historically watched our program, we like playing 2 running backs because we do like to run the football, but we want to be balanced. We really do. And as long as we can throw it, we will be like that offensively. But we've got a lot of work to do up front, replacing 4 out of the 5 starters. I know you talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
Kids are working hard, though. They don't want to disappoint their teammates. They want to work hard at it.
Yeah. Not only Darian at the receiver position, but Rier, Washington, Chase Kidman, Corday Richard, and then Max playing tight end is kind of a little, a little different.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of
there's some weapons, and I just watch those young men. That's the one nice thing about the 7-on-7 tournament is there's some very talented kids in there that can definitely. And I'm sure people are like, oh, well, maybe we need to throw the ball more. I don't know, but there's definitely some kids in there and that can make plays, and we can be very explosive when we get the ball to them out in space.
I want to ask you about Jaron. And we asked him this about being, going down as one of those big names in Omaha North running back history, because it's a thing.
No doubt.
You've had great running backs in the last 20 years, since you've been here for sure, and even before that. What does he have to do to be one of those?
Well, the biggest thing is Mom and Dad are both grads.
You're right.
His parents are both North High grads. They bleed blue, and so I'm excited to have him. We just got to keep him healthy.
Right.
We did some things out here during camp that I watched him, and I'm just telling you, he's better than what I've ever seen him look, and I'm really excited about that. I don't want to get jinx us or anything like that, but Jaron looks very explosive right now, and his hips and his change in direction and stuff like that. So we got to keep him healthy, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
And he's right there with all those guys. I mean, he's tough, durable, just like all of those guys. He always took shots about his size and stuff like that, but pound for pound, he's a tough dude. It reminds me, I told him he's a little bit of Calvin and Milton both. A little bit of shape. He's got the size and stuff like that.
Right.
It's a pretty good mix.
And I'm sure is really glad that he's an Omaha North Viking. That's for sure.
One last one here, I guess. You opening with the Omaha West Side. Obviously, you're taking it one game at a time.
Yeah.
It's a big opponent.
No
right?
doubt.
And you went there last year, and they kind of handled you. Now you host them. And there was talk of, can we change that game to Friday or 4 o'clock on Saturday or whatever? Like you were like, no. we want to play at 7 p.m. on that Thursday night. Like we don't want to change it because that's what we do. That opponent though is kind of a big deal. What's that message to kind of?
So when the state comes out with that, we were that team.
Right.
We want to get back to there. Okay. We played in 5 state championships, won 3, and the only way I know how to do it is to go. If you want to be the best, you got to play the best.
Right.
And so when it came out, we want to play them. There's no disrespect. If anything, that's respect. And Paul knows I have that for him and his for that program. And so we want to play them. I don't know if I want to play them week 1, but it's a great matchup. I get the state, but it does those things and stuff like that. So you're only going to get better. And so our kids are excited. I sat down a couple years ago with the guys, and we came up with a list of schools that we wanted to play, and they were the team that our kids want to play, because you know that when you play them, when you beat them, that if you can beat them, you earned it. Now, not a lot of people have done that, but you can walk off that field knowing that your football team got better. It's a great measuring stick for you.
And you brought that up too. Like there's a lot of mutual respect between the staffs.
No doubt.
No doubt like that. Yeah,
no doubt. We've been friends for a long time, and it's competitive. Don't get me wrong, and we probably won't talk a lot that week. But he knows our kids we're gonna demand that they play hard, and we're gonna do everything we can to be physical, and we're gonna make each other better, and and we're gonna shake hands and move on, and got a whole lot of season left to play.
All right, Coach. Thanks for your time. Thanks for having
appreciate
us.
you guys. I know this is a busy time of the year.
Yeah.
So,
all
right, you bet.